We're a wildlife and conservation media company built around telling real stories from the wild. We believe in showing nature honestly, celebrating the wins, acknowledging the challenges, and helping people understand what's really happening out here. We make documentaries, we create conservation storytelling and marketing, and ultimately, we want our work to make a difference. Oh yes, our expertise is live, live, live. From the outside, it can look like we're just out here having fun in the bush. And yes, there are incredible moments, but behind every story is purpose. That's why being part of Safari Guide of the Year means so much to us. Guides are often seen as the people that drive the vehicle or just find the animals, but there's so much more to being a guide. Guides are educators, they're storytellers, and they're ambassadors for the wild. And they are the people creating a meaningful connection between humans and the natural world. They work incredibly hard and deserve to be celebrated.
Welcome to another live storytelling at Safari Guide of the Year. We are here in the Klasuri Drift, Omani, and what an absolutely exciting day it's been, hey guys. It's been so busy. We've had Patrick out on a photographic safari, and I joined Samantha on a guided bushwalk. And it was so incredibly informative. At some point, we were actually walking down a drainage line looking for water and digging deep. And definitely we looked like a bit of a herd of elephants out there. And I just learned so much. But we always do when we go out on bushwalks. So tonight we've got another finalist up here. And her name is Samantha Snodgrass, and she's from Shamwari. So let's give a round of applause for Samantha. Hi, Sam.
Hello.
How are you?
Very good, thanks. And you, Pam?
Good, thank you. So, as I always do, I start doing a little digging, and I've got 2 questions from you.
Yes, I'm worried about your questions, Pam.
I didn't do anything horrible. Okay, so, Sam,
Yes.
you often talk about the idea that there is safety in respect. In a world where many people think of guiding as being about bravery or adventure, what does respect mean to you in the bush?
So, the thing about the bush is as long as there's mutual respect, there will always be safety. If you start to disrespect an animal or anything like that and cross certain boundaries, there's no safety. So, unfortunately and fortunately, it's something that goes hand in hand. So, for me, respect is all about making sure that everything is safe for the guests.
And that's actually something you did today on our guided bushwalk. I mean, we had some elephants that like just beyond sort of this tree canopy, and we got to enjoy them, but from a distance. We didn't need to go up close to be able to enjoy them. So my second question to you is, you've been asked, is the giraffe going to eat me? What's the most important thing you've learned about helping guests feel comfortable in a world that's completely unfamiliar to them?
So, funny enough, that is part of my story tonight.
Of course.
No, but I can answer it.
All right.
So, I very often feel that the bush doesn't ask us to be fearless. It just asks us to understand. And as soon as you understand, then that fear starts to disappear and gets replaced with curiosity. So, yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Are you going to use your hand? So you're going to give us a bit of a dance or something?
No, I hope not.
I'm going to tuck you in here.
Unfortunately, I don't sing
This
as well as
is
Pat either.
There we go.
Perfect. Thank you. Same lions, same place, but 2 different mindsets. Ozzy found himself face to face with a very unimpressed lioness. But what was he going to do this time? Very often when we think about the privileges of guiding, we will start to think about the amazing encounters, sightings, or beautiful places we get to see. But I truly do believe that the true privilege of guiding is getting to witness people's relationship and connection with nature develop. And when we start to realize that those connections are happening, there are so many lessons that we can learn from our guests in their own journey. But this does look different for everyone. And very often when people find themselves experiencing the bush for the first time, they do have a lot of fear. But that's because as humans, we are fearful of the unknown. But as soon as they start to spend more time in this new environment they find themselves in, they start to relax, they start to understand, and they start to get into the flow of nature. But like I said, that looks different for everyone. So Ozzy had quite an interesting journey. He came to Nature Guide training and Original Wisdom as a chef. Two problems with that. Number one, he had no idea how to cook. And number two, he had no experience of wildlife, and everything from a baboon to a bull elephant he was terrified of. So like I said, it is different for everyone. So on our first day, he comes back after cooking dinner for the first time, and it was a bit of a chaotic experience. And we were sitting around the fire and I asked him, how was your first day? I was super excited because it was his first day out in the bush. And he turns to me and he all of a sudden just drops. And he says, Sam, an elephant charged me today. And before I could ask anything, he immediately whips out his phone to show me the evidence of this terrible attack. So he's showing me the phone, and on the phone, all you can see is this elephant eating about 200 meters away from him. And what then happens is the elephant on the video slowly starts turning its head in the general direction of where Ozzy was somewhere standing. And then all you started to see was floor sky, floor sky, floor sky, as he bolted into the kitchen. But this is not the first time Ozzy found himself using the kitchen as a fortress from any and all wildlife. After a while, Ozzy finally got comfortable in the kitchen after spending a lot of time with a chef named Vicky. He was finally ready. I was so excited for him. He was so excited. We just got on a long bushwalk and I couldn't wait to get back to the lodge, walk in, see this roaring fire, food on the braai nearly ready, and the table beautifully set with Ozzy standing there to greet us. Unfortunately, I walked into the complete opposite. As I walk into the lodge with the guests following behind me, all we see is the glow from the dying fire, on top of which our burnt braai meat was. All the lights were off, so I went searching for Ozzy and figured out that the kitchen was locked. So I started knocking, and there was pots and pans going and all the rest, and all of a sudden he sticks out the door like this, looking at me like I've lost my mind. And I asked him what had happened, and this is where we got introduced to Ozzy's master plan to outsmart the lions. So Ozzy, it looks actually very similar to this. He was at the lodge, and there's a braai right on the edge of a riverbank. And he started to hear lions calling. And this was the first time Ozzy ever heard that call. He was convinced that his brilliant cooking had now lured in the lions, and they were coming to eat him. That roaring wasn't communication. That was communicating to Ozzy that he was going to be their dinner. So Ozzy explained to me that he stood in front of the fire and he made a very, very hard decision. Who gets to eat tonight? The guests or the lions? So Ozzy very quickly chose the lions, left the braai meat on the braai to burn, just in case the lions did come, he could distract them for a little bit so he could get to the kitchen. And then he went back into the kitchen, locked himself until we then arrived there. But as soon as we got there, I sat Ozzy down and I explained to him exactly what had happened. I explained to him just how far that roar can travel. I explained to him that it's also communication between pride members. It could also be a communication of territory between males in different prides. And immediately his whole body just relaxed. His smile lit up and he started to have that curiosity replacing the fear. He would get all his cooking work done so that he could join me on bushwalks, he could join me on drives. He just wanted to learn. I'd even find him when he was cooking, standing outside of the kitchen, busy watching the elephants. And he did. He started to connect with nature, and I started to learn from Ozzy. So again, Ozzy found himself at the exact same camp, and he was busy getting lunch ready, so there was quite a lot of daylight. And this massive male lion comes walking off the riverbed and down into the drainage line. And instead of running into the kitchen, Ozzy walked out onto the viewing platform and enjoyed it. But unfortunately, the lion moved behind a bush, and Ozzy had a very active Facebook page, so he needed better photos. So he started walking and he found a groundskeeper, and the groundskeeper decided to say, no, I will take you closer to these lions. So there they went down into the drainage line, and as they got down, they realized exactly why that male had disappeared behind the bush. There was a female lion there. He had walked into mating lions. It was the same lions, same place, but it was a different mindset. So before Ozzy could figure out what he wanted to do, his brave guard that had just escorted him right into the situation came bolting past him. But before anything happened, Ozzy grabbed him by the belt and held him. And I think he was trying to remember something from a briefing, but all that came out was, if you run, you die. And he held him there. So eventually, with a whole load of luck, the female actually started backing off. So there was Ozzy slowly backing away with this man and getting him to safety. The man that used to run away just from the call of lions was now helping someone else. Ozzy really taught me that as soon as you have something that you are fearing, you need to start to learn about it. As soon as you learn about it, you start to understand it, and that's where the comfort comes from. Ozzy taught me that the bush doesn't ask us to be fearless, it asks us to understand. And it never becomes less wild, it just becomes less unknown. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sam. So, Sam, I would like you to please stay here a little bit. Right. So, this afternoon, I didn't speak about this afternoon purposely until now. So this afternoon, the finalists went out with Juan Pinto and they were tested on their birding abilities. And that entails identifying birds in sight, but also with sound, which can be rather tricky. And then after our lovely lunch here at Amani, we all got dressed, and on our sort of beds, we had a shirt that was waiting. And the shirt would show us which clan or whatever you want to call it, like group that we would be belonging to. And so we were all split up in 4 different groups, this whole group over here. And so we had the wild dogs, we had the honey badgers, yay, and we had the martial eagles, and we also had the elephant. Whatever. And then no competition here at all. And then we also had the elephant. And so what actually happened is we all went out here at Amani, and there were these various tasks that these groups had to do, and that it basically entailed, like, one was a memory game, one was very like physical orientated, and then we had to like paint these flags. I mean, honey badgers were so great at that, right? She'll admit it soon. And then we also basically had to do these like war cries, and it was really like so much fun. And one of my favorite parts is we also got to build a fire, and James Dan actually showed us how to build a fire. Like it was so fantastic. Anyway, so what we're going to be doing now, I don't even know. But Sam is going to have the absolute privilege of announcing who the winners are to come up here and get their what looks like kind of like an immunity idol. Oh, yes. And so something that is such a highlight in our den, and I think all of us will agree with that, is Craig, who is one of our guests here at Safari Guide of the Year. He had this amazing idea of actually one of our projects was to, in different groups, to have this storage furniture and we would restore it and paint it and make it look so exciting. And it was for a community project called the Try Give and Susan Garden Community. It's a project that feeds plus minus just over 250 children. Now, just giving you guys an idea, it started at 15 children. So it's such a beautiful way to give back. And, Safari Guide of the Year is not just a platform in terms of recognizing guides, but what they really want to start doing is giving back to communities and giving back. And I think for all of us, something Craig was actually saying, and I was chatting to him just now, was that for the first time, we weren't being competitive. I wasn't trying to run into Sam here and steal her water. Never. So innocent here. But everybody was so willing to share pains, and everybody was so willing to give an extra hand. I mean, I saw Howard from Rugged Wave and came, and he was helping dry our furniture so we could put stencils and stuff on. So, it's really just a way of all of us coming together and just giving back, and it fills our hearts as well. So I'm sure on the Safari Guide of the Year Facebook page, we will be later on after the competition be sharing those pictures of these kids getting all this furniture. And so, yeah, that's really, really exciting. But I think Sam here needs to make an announcement. I just want to say I was Burgundy Honey Badger. Just keep that in mind. But Sam, could you please announce the winners?
Of course. So I think we all worked very, very hard today, especially the Marshall Eagles. You see? Yeah. But unfortunately, I have to hand this back over to Pam because the Honey Badgers won the competition today. So if everyone can please come up. Honey Badgers. All of you, please.
Oh, let's give it to Otto. You was our team leader.
There we go.
You were our team leader.
Team leader. I speak on our behalf.
So I would like to give the mic to Otto, who was our team leader, to say a few words. Sorry, everybody.
There was absolutely no preparation for this, but I think we worked really, really hard as a team and very well as a team, and it feels like we're missing a member or two.
We
But,
are missing them.
yeah, very proud of the achievements, and sorry for everybody else. The best team won. May the best team win.
We had fun. It was a lot of fun.
That was so good. So that was another amazing story around the campfire here in the Klissuri. Until tomorrow night, please join us again. Good night.